This all set up?
Yeah, we got it.
We're getting there. It can be like those videos, you know what I mean? Turn down a little. Okay. Alright, and you are live.
Right now?
We're live.
Oh, are we live right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think it's still getting all set up and stuff.
Okay.
On my computer.
Yeah, okay. Don't know if anybody can hear me yet. We're still kind of setting up. It's super weird talking to a phone. So we talk into phones all the time. It's just going to grab our computer and get started here in a moment. So I'll sit here awkwardly and wait. Like, Sarah's this streaming like they can see it on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Sorry, guys.
We need to set up the... Second.
Okay.
I'm coming. Oops, paste. Get it all there. See if I can pull up questions and stuff like that.
Okay. Should I go ahead and start?
Yes, go ahead and start. It's 2 o'clock.
All right. Okay, well, hey, I'm Lydia Huber. You guys have been following the Huber twins, and I just want to say David and I are blown away with just how much people care. So many people we don't know. We're terribly touched, and it just helps confirm that God is in control and God loves these babies just as much as we do, if not even more. I'd like to give a little backstory. I know not everybody knows David and I, obviously. The majority of our followers, I can't recognize any of your names, at least from what I've seen. But that's a good thing, because that means more people are praying. So David and I were married August 6th last year, so not too long ago. We're still kind of newlyweds. Sometime on our honeymoon, we were blessed with a pregnancy, and we were super excited. We found out later, and we had no idea that we were pregnant with twins, and so we were just shocked and excited. Our first baby. We didn't quite know what to do. Because like nobody on my side had a baby before. David's side, they have quite a few little babies, but and all born in different ways, hospital, at home. But David and I discussed it, and our choice was going to be to have a home birth, and that was our choice. Some people choose to have it in a hospital, and that's okay. We're not trying to judge anybody there, but our personal choice was to have the baby at home, and for the best experience. So we kind of jumped on the ball a little late in finding a midwife. I think we showed up, what was it, like a month and a half into the pregnancy? Mm-hmm. Poor Alice probably knows. She had no idea my history. I show up and I'm like, I have no medical records. I've hardly ever been to a hospital ever since a child. So she's just like, So we had to fill a lot of questions and figure out a lot of different things. Alice is wonderful. Alice is my midwife. And we were planning on pregnancy with her. But we later found out we had twins. And Alice was like, okay, guys, like I will help you out and I will work with you with your prenatal and your nutrition. But this is a risky business here with twins, so we need to partner with a specialist or another doctor at some point. So if we need that C-section, it can happen. So like mid-pregnancy, actually the week of my delivery was supposed to be the week that I was going to transfer to a new doctor and doctor in Kingwood, and very, very great. I've heard really highly recommended. There you go. I'm sorry, guys. This has been a really rough recovery. This has been, I'll explain later. I'm still kind of not all here. But, so anyways, the reason why it took us so long to transfer, and we should have transferred sooner, that was more my fault, because everything seemed very perfect in the pregnancy, even though we had twins, and twins are high risk. Just every visit every ultrasound, all the blood work, urine samples, everything was just spot on perfect. And I mean, anybody who looked at any of my stuff would say that we were going to hit full term. And we were just confident that was going to happen. So there was no way we thought midway through the pregnancy anything was going to go wrong. But, you know, a different story, and I'll explain how that happened, or how we think that happened. I have some notes here to keep me on track, because I will go to wild lands and go way off topic. Here we go. So, let's see, where are we at here? It's okay. So far I'm kind of staying on track. Okay, so, let's see, everything was perfect. Finishing transferring paperwork. Yeah, so we finished transferring paperwork. We were going to have that visit with Dr. Champions. We were going to meet that week, actually, of the pregnancy. Oh, thank you. Sarah's like, here, highlighter. This will help you. She also decided she was going to give me tissue. She figured at some point something was going to go wrong. Okay.
No.
Okay. So, like I said, everything was going perfect and healthy with that pregnancy. There's just no way anybody anticipated what was going to happen. That week, I started to finally have some cramps and a little bit of bleeding, which isn't uncommon for twin pregnancies. Any mama who's been pregnant with twins before will tell you there's going to be times you're going to have cramps a lot longer because your two babies are growing in your body. And I just figured that's what that was. The bleeding was very, very, very light. So we didn't think I was in labor. The midwife was keeping, we were telling her what was going on. We were keeping track of it. I was being super optimistic. And I was like, it's nothing. My first babies, guys, okay? And then, the next day, no bleeding, but more cramps in the front side, and not any contractions or anything. So I'm like, oh yeah, totally just cramps. Like, there's no bleeding going on. Everything's good. I did happen to notice one of my really active twins, though, like, started to slow down a little bit. So that did cause me some concern, but she still was kicking and moving a lot, more than the other one, who's more calm, Isabelle. So Chloe was, like, she normally kicked day and night. I wonder if that kid ever slept in my womb. And then all of a sudden, it was like half the day she would do that. And then it was like the third of the day and a little bit at night. So I knew something was starting to go wrong, but I couldn't quite tell what. And I just figured maybe she's getting comfortable in the womb. Obviously that wasn't what was going on. So day 3, Monday, what happened was I started to feel a little bit more pain. It's really hard for me to determine how much pain I am because I've had some different injuries in the past. That's really upped my pain tolerance. I also really competed a lot in Taekwondo, so fighting, you take a lot of pain and you're just like, I got this, I could keep going. And so the pain was really weird, and I didn't think that I was in labor because it didn't sound like labor. There was no pain in the front, not my stomach, not my lower pelvic, no cramping or like a feeling of contractions, just pain in my tailbone. Only in the tailbone, and it would come and it would go. It'd be severe. If you want to know what that feels like, it's like extreme constipation, which is exactly what I thought was going on. I was like, oh, this makes sense. I'm going through extreme constipation. I haven't gone to the bathroom in a day. I know that's like, some people are like, but I never go to the bathroom in a week. Lydia's definition of constipation is like, if I miss one day, I'm constipated. So I was like, I'm just constipated and it's going bad. And so there was spotting, but very light. Like it didn't, I would go on with like a couple hours, not any sort of little spot coming. And then it kind of got a little more and a little more, but it stayed very light. And so I'm like, okay. And so I kind of am texting the midwife's daughter at this time, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. I think they were super worried on the other end, and I'm like on the other end, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm I'm not in that much pain. We're okay. And so.
And again, at this point, you were still in the process of transferring to see your OB this past Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's why you're in communication with the midwife, because things had not been passed through yet. And
because I hadn't met with Dr. Champions, so I couldn't go and talk to her yet about it. I hadn't met her for the first time. That was mostly my fault. They gave me the option of seeing her a week sooner, but I was like, okay, well, we'll wait later, because I had stopped going that week. We were waiting for insurance to kick in, and we were like, okay, we're going to do one visit where our insurance hasn't kicked in. And so I was like, we're just going to do that. So that was more my choice and more my fault. Anyways, so I was
communicating with the midwife.
Oh yeah, I was communicating with the midwife. The pain was getting a little bit more and more, but the pain would come and go. It'd be 30 seconds, it'd be 30 minutes, it'd be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and it was just super random and all over the place. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely constipation. So nothing was coming. I put together concoction shake to help things move along. Ate a couple prunes. So I drank down my shake, threw it all up, every bit of it. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And then I drank some water to make up for the shake. Threw up my shake. Shake and water. Everything was out of my system. I just threw it all up. My poor husband was super concerned. He was going to go to work that day, but he stayed behind because he knew I was in bad shape, and I was like, oh, I'm good. So I hop into the tub and fill it full of warm water so that I can get the pain down, and it just keeps coming and coming. And so when I stand up to go to the bathroom and in the tub, all of a sudden, I just dropped a ton of brown blood, it just a ton. I don't think it was my water breaking. If that's what it's like, then it just was. I have no idea. But anyways, it was just a ton of brown blood dropping out, and we were really concerned. We were like, okay, something is obviously wrong. We snapped a picture of it, sent it straight to the midwife. The midwife called right away. She's like, you need to see if you can get into your doctor now. And so we call, and they say, well, because we haven't seen you, we can't provide care for you right now. You need to go to an ER immediately. And so, now that I look back, that is a wise choice, because they were so far from us. They had no idea what was going on with me. And it just wouldn't have been fair to them. And it probably wouldn't have been a good outcome if we tried to drive all the way to Kingwood. So we hop in the car and we go to the nearest ER. They're like, we do not deliver babies here, but if you can't help it, we will. And we're like, no. So we hop back into the car, and we drive off, and Alice is on the phone with us the whole time, and she's like, can you guys make it to Texas Children, because I know that they have an amazing NICU. And Alice starts hearing me on the phone, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, she can hear my voice go in and out of pain. She's like, okay, Lydia, you are going to have these babies. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, so obviously she could hear my phone that on, back and forth. She's like, if you're having pain to where you have to hold back a lot, or your voice changes all the time, you are having contractions, and you are going, and I'm like, but they're not consistent. This can't be labor. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Go to the emergency room, girl. And so Alice pulls up Houston Methodist for us, and she says, they have a NICU. They're about 15 minutes away from you, or I think it was 14, but actually where David and I was, it was 7 minutes. And she hung up on the phone with me. She called Houston Methodist. She said, prepare for emergency labor. We get in, they wheel me upstairs. They immediately take me to the back room. I'm in the back room, and a doctor comes in, and her name was Dr. Domino. And there was a couple other nurses. Everything was happening so fast, and they're asking me questions like, what are you allergic to? And I'm like, gluten, I'm allergic to gluten. No, what medicines? I'm like, I don't know, I've never had any. This is my first time. I'm so sorry. Actually, I was super calm. Actually, I wasn't like I am now. I was just like, yeah, I'm allergic to gluten. I'm in some pain. I don't know what it is. And they're like, so like, how far along are you? Well, I think I'm almost 25 weeks. We're like 24 and a half. And they're like, so what do you think's going on? They start asking my symptoms, and they're like, okay, this girl kind of sounds like she's in labor, but she doesn't look like it. And I didn't feel like it. I was like, oh, tailbone pain. I was like, I think it might be constipation. I'm not sure. And they're like, so like Dr. Domino looks at me. I believe that's who looked at me at the time. And she's like, I'm going to check your blood and see if you're in labor. So she goes and puts her hand in my cervix with a little tiny cotton swab, and she's like, you're sort of dilated. And then like they're like, we don't need to test this. And they're like, and they immediately get 2 little ultrasounds going to look at the babies. They can see Chloe. Chloe is lodged up in my rib cage and just up there, head first facing up. So she was breech. And they found another baby, which was Isabelle, who was there, but they couldn't find her head. So they were like, we see this baby's body, but not its head. What is going on here? And so they look around as quickly as they can, and she said, okay, you are going into labor. You are going to have these babies right now. And I was like, what? But I was more calm about it, and I was like, okay. And at that point, I started to worry when the doctor said that, because it was going to happen real quick. And I was like, well, can we push them out naturally? She's like, she says, I don't think so. These babies are too little bitty. And so she puts her hand back in again, and I've dilated just a hair more, I believe. And she's like, the baby's head is in the birth canal. She's like, so forget that. This baby's coming out naturally, and we're going to C-section this baby. So I make it sound like it's a really slow event, but this all happened like in a matter of a couple minutes. And so they rush me back to the emergency room, and we just start, and they get me hooked up to everything, and we just start trying to push Isabelle out. I personally, I felt like it wasn't that bad. I was like, I don't know why people choose like C-sections over natural labor. I did push out a 1-pound baby, but I wasn't dilated that much. But apparently it was bad for the baby, because if you guys saw Isabelle before, she was horribly bruised. She was black when she came out, because she just didn't have the space to come out, because I didn't dilate enough, and it was just a really quick, violent birthing session. We did our best. Dr. Domino did her best, and especially like just seeing me, and I don't think anybody could have done any better in this situation. And so anyways, they start pushing. The nurses all coach me. They're like, push. I'm like, what does it feel like to push? Because these is my first babies. I don't know what I'm doing. They're like, so they all are so super sweet, and they're coaching me, pushing out Isabelle. And I think, I don't even know, it might have been 5-7 minutes or something like that. It felt longer. But Isabelle was out. She was out, and she was about a pound. And she didn't cry, I didn't hear anything, obviously, at this point, because her lungs hadn't developed. And they're like, okay, your baby's out. And apparently at this time, I didn't know, but the placentas had come out too. And there was one placenta that was intact, and the other one was 75% ruptured and all black. So apparently it had been bleeding for a while, and we didn't know. So if it's possible, if those babies had stayed in there any longer, one of them would have died, for sure. And so my body, or the babies, initiated birth, whichever, if it belonged to Chloe or Isabelle, we're not quite sure at this point. My heart, my gut says it belonged to Chloe, and Isabelle just took advantage of the situation to become the firstborn, and just wanted to come right out. And so anyways, after she came out, they put me under right away. And I was told, like, it was like 35 seconds after I went under, they got her out, Chloe. And so I woke up from the surgery, and it was extremely painful. And I've been through a lot of pain in my life, but that one was definitely up there. And I think I was on pretty heavy drugs too, so I wasn't quite all there, but it was definitely not my cup of tea. But they wheeled me out. Dr. Domino starts explaining to me what just happened in the last couple, 25 minutes from the emergency room to them wheeling me out. And it was basically that Isabelle came out and we had to get her out really quick. So I tore lower. She's like, I was going to cut you so we could get the baby out in time. But then I'll let you tear naturally. So you tore naturally. I'm like, yeah, I felt it. And then she's like, and then we had to get Chloe out C-section. So she's like, I did a low bikini cut C-section, which she did an awesome job. Everybody looks at that C-section that she did. They're like, whoa, that's a good C-section. I'm like, is it? That's good to know. It looks fine to me.
Doesn't feel fantastic.
No, it was, oh my goodness. So I'm healing from both ends, guys. Sorry.
TMI.
Oh man, I seem like super laughy now, but man, it's taken a toll on my body. Anyways, so they wheel me in, and I get to see the babies just before they send them out, and they were gonna keep them at the NICU, and that was the purpose of us going to Houston Methodist. But the doctor comes into me. She said, your babies do not appear to be babies who were born at almost 25 weeks, or not even what you, like, we checked your charts. Your baby's supposed to be, according to your ultrasounds, 24 weeks and 3 days, but they don't even look that. They look weeks younger, which makes absolutely no sense because there's no way they were conceived that soon. Just stuff didn't happen. David and I were healthy virgins before we got married, and nothing happened before. So, sorry, I'm just making Sarah blush over there. But, I mean, there's no way that they could have been, like, as far as in my understanding. But they said that their development and their size was just too small, that they didn't feel like their NICU was the best to save these babies, which was great. I'm so glad because when I heard that and they were transferring, it wasn't about the money. It was about saving my baby's lives, and that's what mattered. And so they packed them all up, and I got to hold Chloe's hand, or I put my hand inside that little tank where Chloe was, and Chloe reached up and grabbed my hand, and it was pretty amazing and pretty horrible and scary at the same time, being separated from her, and then they wheel in Isabelle, and I touched Isabelle. Sorry, guys. I'm good. Don't pat me. That'll make it worse. That will make it worse.
No, I'm just giving you a tissue.
Oh, okay. My nose isn't running away yet.
But it will soon.
It will soon. Okay. Anyway, so the babies come in, or the babies go out, and Houston Methodist starts to take care of me post-labor. And I gotta tell you, I have not one bad thing to say about Houston Methodist. They were sweet, sweet angels, every one of those nurses. From the doctor to the nurse, they just did a phenomenal job. They treat you like you're their own child, and they love your children just as much as you do, it seems. And you just met them, and they were so wonderful, and they really watched after me. I was having a really hard time responding to all the drugs. My body's just not used to them. I've never had to really take drugs before in my life, and drugs, narcotics, anything. And so my body was having a really hard time responding to the emergency surgery and labor all at once, and just like an abnormal labor. And it was just a difficult time. And Dr. Domino also did come in and tell me that the reason why they believe that the placenta might have ruptured, or likely ruptured, was that I have a very rare sort of uterus that there's no way we would have known
Unless you weren't pregnant.
Unless I wasn't pregnant, and I got my uterus screened and got to look at it. It's called a heart-shaped uterus, but it's even worse than that. It's like it's not worse. This is the way God made my body, and that's the way it is. But basically, it's a heart-shaped uterus, and somewhere in there was a column that likely ruptured one of the baby's placentas while they were growing. And that's what triggered it. So it was nobody's fault, really. It wasn't my fault. We didn't know. David and I, like I said, we were young, healthy virgins. We didn't think we had to scan my uterus for some really rare, like, shape that we didn't think ran in my family at all. So we just figured it would just be a normal, healthy pregnancy. There's no way my poor midwife, who had to deal with me and twins and all the crazy things, like, could have known, because, like, she just saw me, like, a month and a half after I had conceived, and it's just something that was unforeseen, and it's just the way God made my body, and God gave me twins, and that's just how it happened and how they came. And so just in the future and whenever we conceive again, we'll just have to watch it a lot more carefully and figure out how to best handle that. So anyways, I'm back and I'm recovering, and it was super hard being away from the babies, and just the next day I woke up, Sarah and David went to go see the babies, and
on Monday afternoon.
On Monday afternoon, and that was good. I'm glad they got to do that, but I hadn't seen them since I delivered them, and I really felt the need to be with them, and so did the doctor. The doctor said, you know, we know that you could recover here, and we could help you get there fast, but I really feel like you need to be with your babies, and I did not disagree with her. I felt like I needed to be there with them too. And so they kindly looked up for me how much it would end up costing to transfer me from Houston Methodist to Texas Children, and they said it would be about $5,000 up front, and with additional charges afterwards, which they wouldn't quite tell us. And you know, we just didn't quite have that money laying around, and at that point we already had a lot of other expenses we were gonna fix to have to think about paying, and I was just like, we can't do that. And so Houston Methodist was like, okay, well, if we can't do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to expedite your recovery the best we can so that you can get home and heal and then go be with those babies. And so that's what we proceeded doing. About an hour later, maybe it was even less than that, one of the nurses comes in and she says, never mind, they said you can go. I'm like, but like, we can't afford that. Like, you know, what happened? Our insurance won't cover it. And she said, they said it's fine. Everything's clear. You just go. They're gonna let you go. And I don't know who or what organization or what happened, whoever, but somebody paid my way to, like, go be with my babies, and that means so much to me. We were all so happy and excited, and they got me all ready and put me in that bed, and we had a rough ride all the way from there to downtown, but we made it there to the hospital, and so we transferred there, and all sorts of other things during my transfer kind of went wrong, but I was close to my babies, and I was just happy. I was able to visit them when I had the chance, not quite as much because, once again, I was having a really hard time recovering. We didn't quite realize that some of the medications just weren't for my body until later when I got home. So I got transferred, and they were doing a wonderful job with my babies, the best that they could do. One of the top NICUs in, I believe, the country. And so they were taking care of my babies, and they transferred me to postpartum. So basically, though, to make a long story short, with the postpartum, a lot of things once again, I want to say they have a wonderful NICU, but the postpartum care was, a lot of things were, I'm trying to find a way to put this really gently. It was a lot of things were falling through the cracks, and it made me understand a lot more why people want home births. They were not, it was a night and day difference from Methodist, their care to their care. And anyways, more problems were being created than solved, and I was getting worse actually staying there. And one day Alice calls me. I guess she might have been under the impression from something that I didn't want her to call me, and that I was transferring over like services, but that wasn't the case. I was just drugged out of my mind, and I couldn't take any calls. And she called me one morning, and it was so good to hear her voice. And she started coaching me, as drugged out as I was, how to get out of there as soon as we could. And it was a long, hard battle. And but finally, I was able to go home. What day was that? That was Friday night. I got home at 7.
Something like that, yeah.
I was in bad shape, man, guys, so bad. But I knew I was going to do so much better at home. And like I said, Alice, Houston, or Texas Children was saving my babies, but Alice was like saving me. Sorry for all those who I keep saying Alice. Alice was is my midwife and is helping me to recover. Anyways, so she helps coach me how to get out of there, and a lot of things were happening. And so they went ahead, even though I was in bad shape when I went home, and I would go up and down, look okay, and then get really bad, and look okay, and get really bad. I left with a fever. I left with horrible constipation. I left with so many problems. But that was okay. I think they discharged me because they started to get ticked off because I was saying no to a lot of things. Anyways, but I'm sure that wasn't the case. I'm sure they're finally like, this kid needs to go. Maybe, I don't know. For whatever reason, we were glad to get out of there. And so I got home, and so it was still very hard recovery. I had to undo some damage that had been done, and then developing some new ones and trying to heal. And Alice has been wonderful coaching me through them, and very patient. And I'm still, my body's, even though it was very healthy when I went into labor, I still went through birth. I went through tearing. I went through a major surgery all at once. And so my body's really taxed and just trying to heal all over. So it'll be a little while till I get to see my babies again in person, or I'll be able to go places. So just pray for expedited healing, and just pray that God continues to heal my body. I see where we're here. I got home, started healing. Basically, right now the girls are doing good for their age. And the doctors are all angels down there who are taking care of them, doing a great job. And I really, really want to thank Alice and Dr. Domino and God, ultimately, who orchestrated this whole thing. It was a crisis, but every step of the way, God provided a way for us to make it. Even before the babies came, there's so many things that could have been so terribly wrong. David and I moved from the third floor to the first floor, and if we didn't do that any sooner, it could have been a mess. We had recently bought a couch because our other one was giving David allergies. And one that folds out into a bed, and it was just low enough for me to get on and be able to rest for somebody who's really trying to heal up. I'm on this bed now, but it's really high, and if I get off of it at night, I'll just topple over, and bad things will happen. But anyways, and the fact that the babies came so quickly, and I was able to have them at Houston Methodist, and God provided me with the perfect doctor who made the right calls, and the perfect team who made the right calls. And so He is in control. He made my body the way it was. I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there's some people who wanted to start pointing fingers and blaming, like, oh, it's the doctor's fault, oh, it's the midwife's fault. And I know that's natural, just in human nature, because immediately after the babies were born, I wanted to blame someone too, and I wanted to blame myself. Blame myself because it was my body that did that to them. But then I have a wonderful husband who reminded me that God makes us all the way He chooses, and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And it happened the way it was supposed to, and God's going to take care of us and our babies. It's going to be hard day from day. You know, knowing things that can go up and down in the NICU. And we got to trust Him every day. But ultimately, we know He is in control. And if He chooses to let us have our babies and they come home to us, that's going to be so amazing. And I know God has a plan for their lives and ours. And I wouldn't change a thing. It's been really hard. And it seems like everything's happened one after the other in our lives right now, but it's the way it's supposed to be. So just we're so appreciative of your prayers, and we covet every single one of them and pray that you keep praying and keep us in your prayers and our babies, and we're just blown away by everybody's care and kindness and love for our babies. So many people we don't even know. Anyways, I'll give you a little update on the babies. I don't think we updated on what happened with their ultrasound. Their last ultrasound this Monday. Was it Monday that it happened?
Yeah, yesterday.
Sorry, guys. Like, I'm recovering from drugs that I was on.
That's why Sarah is your calendar and your clock.
Sarah's my calendar and my clock. I'm starting to learn to use my phone, and I didn't like it before. Whoops. I'm starting to learn to use my hands. Okay. So, where was I?
An update on the girls' ultrasound.
Yes, update on the girls' ultrasound. So they did an ultrasound, and I'm sure a lot of you who are familiar with preemies at their age, bleeding is very, very common. It is to be expected. You know, in their body, in the brains, specifically the brains, because their little bodies just weren't quite ready to handle this world naturally. And so they did an ultrasound on Chloe, and I'm sure a lot of you who've been following know that Chloe had 2 little brain bleeds in her in the past, and some bleeding in her liver, and that caused a lot of concern. We were really scared for a good bit. And anyways, so they did the ultrasound. She has 1 new little brain bleed. We're not sure how bad. It sounds like it's on the minor scale. They're not sure what developmental issues this may or may not cause. Not that it matters, because we much rather have Chloe than have a perfect child and not be and then not have them at all. We want our baby. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And you know what? There may not be any issues at all. She's such a fighter. I'm sure she's gonna bounce back. But the good news is the other 2 little brain bleeds have clotted up on their own, which is a good sign. We don't think they're going to spread. So right now the doctors are going to keep an eye on Chloe and see how things progress. Isabelle, on the other hand, her ultrasound, it came out with there's no bleeding in her brain, which is like phenomenal and almost unheard of for a baby.
Isabelle, right?
Yeah, Isabelle.
Yeah,
Isabelle. It's almost unheard of for a baby of her gestational age to not have bleeding in her brain. So that's really good. We know things can change day to day, but right now, today was, or yesterday was another day that there wasn't horrible dire news, which is really good. I think we're just trying to stay positive in that area, but know that things can change, and there's going to be ups and downs. But So we're waiting to hear today how things are going with them. I tried calling, but they were busy, which is okay. If they're busy taking care of my babies or somebody else's, that's cool. So hopefully tonight we'll put up another little update of how they're doing. They're so beautiful and so precious and hard not to love, and they're wiggly and wild, and they're shocking the doctors just a little bit. Chloe almost crawled out, well, not crawled, she almost climbed and rolled her way out of her bed. They put up a barrier around her, and I guess they were changing out fluids or something, and they had the little wrap gone, and they're like, little baby. No, they're not careless at all. I'm just saying, this baby's abnormal. And I was like, guys, I told you, this baby's crazy in the womb. Just watch it. And they're like, no, this is the problem child. She's sick. She's ill. She's the illest of the two. And I'm just like, I just know what I feel in my womb. This baby is a wild being. And so apparently she was making her way over the barrier and was going to fall out, and so they had to secure her down, and they have a little band that kind of sits over her whenever they leave now, which is good, because they're so afraid that they're going to wiggle around and burn all their little calories out, and that's not a good thing. It's good that they have that energy, but they don't need to lose it. So, yeah, should we do any questions? What time is it right now?
We're 40 minutes in, and
yikes, guys! I'm so sorry. I can ramble on. That's embarrassing. Okay.
So just if you have any questions right now for Lydia about the girls or about the birth or the situation,
I won't answer stupid ones.
Hey, Lydia's coming back just a little bit. Can you see her, guys? This is Lydia.
Once the narcotics are gone out of your system, your personality comes back, right? Mm. Yeah. Okay. Making sure.
And from the sister side, the older sister side.
The older sister side.
Yeah. Just wanted to just say I can see the prayers influencing in my sister and my brother-in-law's life, and just the little things, like how God just fashioned everything together. Of course, it's scary. I mean, I feel quite attached to these little girls. Even before they came, as soon as I heard they were twins, I was just excited. As soon as I heard that they were girls, I was excited, and it's just amazing how God put everybody in the right place at the right time. Just, with all the circumstance and all. His hand has been in this, and we do still covet your prayers for all the situation of them growing up. And I know that for David and Lydia, this will be definitely a journey, and they're going to continue to need your prayers as the girls are in the hospital and as the girls are out of the hospital, Lord willing. So again, we just cover your prayers, and please keep them in your church group. Share Isabelle and Chloe's story with people around you. Feel free to like the page just so that you can go around and tell people to pray.
Yeah, there's some people, apparently, I was told, I'm sorry guys, I've just now got to look at my Facebook page, or Chloe and Isabelle's Facebook page, as of today a little bit. It's, like I said, it's been a really hard recovery, and so prioritizing my time tends to go to activities that help me heal, or rest, or get calories in, or make milk for the babies. I guess we got a couple messages where people were afraid to follow us because they thought it would be creepy because they didn't know us, but that is totally okay. It is wonderful that you care about our baby. So if you want to like the page, if you want to follow it and share, we are not going to think you're a weirdo at all. We think it's so sweet.
Okay, we have some questions.
Okay, question.
Mindy asked, so is Lydia still unable to visit the babies?
Currently, yes. I was able to visit the baby Sunday, but some issues popped up with my body. And it's mostly just, I don't even know what it's called. I'm sure my midwife told me, and I just forgot it. My memory's been awful, guys. I used to have a good one, and then I went through surgery, and I'm like, what? What's my name? What? Anyways, it's just basically, until I guess my milk comes in, I have to keep myself from, try to keep this G, if there's any kids watching this, but basically, if the colostrum, lumps in my breasts, I will get, severe chills and headaches and shaking, and like kind of go through a little bit of craziness. It's just like, it's downright awful, and it takes quite a few hours for me to get stable again.
It's pretty scary for your family too.
Yeah, it freaks the life out of my family, and so until like I can get past that stage, we're just keeping me at home, letting me sleep and rest, and continuing to pump colostrum until it becomes milk for the girls, and letting my body heal, because it did go through quite a traumatic experience. As one of the doctors like put it, one of the doctors at Texas Children looked at me and she's like, "Have you read your report?" Okay, she didn't say it like that, but she said, well, actually she almost said it exactly like that. "Have you read your report?" And I was like, no. Well, what I wanted to say was, "Lady, I'm in this bed. I just took my first couple of steps today down the hall. You have me drugged on double narcotics for my body size. Do I look like I've been able to read anything?" But no, I did not say that.
Okay,
but basically she said my whole report is like a soap opera. And I still have yet to be able to view that, and recovery's been rough. I think today's probably the most energy I've had, but that's because I've mostly been sitting, and I was able to get some good rest today. But like seriously, if I get too cold, or if I don't pump at the right time, if I don't take my ibuprofen and Tylenol at the right time, just things can go dramatically bad real fast for me. But so it's going to take me time to recover, and we're hoping a couple weeks maybe I can go see the girls. I don't know. We'll see how it progresses.
So Rebecca was asking, loving your story, how long will you guys be in the NICU? How long will the girls be in the NICU, you think?
It's really hard to say. Probably till May, sometime in May.
Which is around their due date.
Which is around their due date. Somebody said April, but I don't know that that's the case. I highly doubt it. These babies are just born so early. It's not like they were born a month early or half a month early or two. They were born extremely early, and they were born very small. And it could be their due date or past, which their due date was May 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a really long haul. I'll probably be long. By the time they get here, I'll be probably healed and able to run. Probably shouldn't yet, but I'll probably be a lot healthier by then.
All right, Laura asks, is there anything that they need at home to prepare for when the girls will be brought home in a few months?
Anything the what?
That you need in preparation for the girls when they come home.
Yeah, I haven't thought that far ahead.
You do have a registry on...
Yeah, the registry, I have a registry on Bye Bye Baby and Amazon, but it really needs to be reset because there's maternity clothes on there, and there's like just stuff I was anticipating for 40 weeks or 38, of gestational age. And so hopefully in the next couple of days I can slowly update that registry and figure out. But yeah, we'll need stuff like strollers and double strollers particularly, and we have one on there. And because I was not anticipating giving birth this soon, I don't have a lot of tops that are good for pumping or nursing. I just basically have some tank tops. I have this dress I'm wearing, which I bought for my maternity shoot, which we were going to do the following week. But there's just a lot of things we did not anticipate needing yet, and it just happened that way. So we'll figure out what we need to put on that registry, because we also need to figure out what size diaper they're going to wear, because they're not going to fit in the cloth diapers I was anticipating putting on them. So
there are some immediate needs. Thank you, Stephen, for posting that up there. There are some immediate needs for Lydia. It's some protein powder and some stevia, and I'll be posting about what those products look like, and the best way to get those products are on Amazon because it's the cheapest way to get them. So stay tuned, and I'll post that. And even if she gets an abundance of these products, it's going to be good, especially through nursing.
Yes.
And through those busy days.
The protein shakes for real, guys, my mom and my husband think I'm nuts and crazy about these protein shakes, but my midwife's like, 2 shakes a day, girl, and boy, do they make a world of a difference. Particularly the ones that I'm taking. I'm doing really high protein shakes, trying to do, as natural as we can. I have to change it up so I don't get so sick, but I drank a shake just before we started, so that's why I have so much energy right now. I'll be really tired in a little bit. That's what will happen. And I probably need pain meds, and no, we're still good. Okay. Just can't miss those pain meds, guys. Bad things happen. Not pain-wise, just everything else. Any other questions? Other immediate needs other than food for me.
We're going to be working on a list for that because it's kind of it's not like Lydia and David bringing the girls home and needing food right away and things like that. There are those needs, but David and Lydia both have certain food allergies.
We have a lot of food allergies. And if you combine mine and David's, it's just like, we eat nothing. Yeah. I'm joking.
So there's a certain way how everything is made. So the best point of helping with food-wise, unless you come and talk to me or message me privately, Sarah Quinnett, by the way, that gift cards are the best because then I can do some grocery shopping for them, or maybe down the line we'll give a list to somebody who's near here in the area, and we can transfer that to get groceries. That's the best way possible to go in detail. They shop at Aldi's and H-E-B.
Just those are actually basically the only places.
Yeah, Aldi's and
everybody
H-E-B.
thinks we eat at Whole Foods. Like, who could afford that? That would be fun though.
Yeah, it would be.
But no, we get a lot of our organic products. I know I sound like one of those hippie mamas, but the reason why I really believe the babies are doing as well they are, my midwife believes the same. By the way, she was awesome coaching on nutrition. I took a nutrition course, and I was fairly knowledgeable-ish on nutrition. At least I thought for pregnancy. For one baby, and then I found I had 2, and Alice knows everything, man. That lady is so experienced. She knows exactly what she's talking about and what she's doing, and I really do not believe the babies would have been in as good as condition as they are, or maybe even survived if my nutrition was as good. I don't even think I would have responded. I responded terribly to everything that happened to my body, but that's, even being healthy, but that's okay. But I really think I would have been a lot worse if I wasn't even healthier as I am now. So, yes.
Do you get to see, Abby asked, do you get to see your husband very much, or do you get to see your husband at all?
Oh, it feels like never. David and I are super attached. He's my best friend, and so I see him in the morning, and I see him at night, and then I get to see him on the weekends.
He leaves early to deliver the colostrum to the hospital.
Yeah, David leaves early.
And he gets to see the girls. He gets to see the girls in the morning, and then before he comes home from work, he goes to the hospital to see the girls again. He's very attached.
Yes. Oh, who wouldn't be? He's going to be an awesome dad. Anyways, so yeah.
Next question.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
Misty asked, I'm especially interested if Lydia needs any supplies related to pumping.
Supplies related to pumping. Right now we just bought a really lightly used Medela pump and style. And that seems to be working. I don't know, like we're looking into maybe because I can't be with the babies, and because of their situation, me pumping for them is extremely important. So we're hopefully down the line looking to invest in a hospital grade pump for the girls. So that's more of our need, because it's so important. I don't have a normal baby trying to get milk. Baby's trying to get milk for me, and so my body's having a little issue adjusting to that and trying to heal at the same time. So the pump and style is what we got right now, and it's doing its job for now. And so we're just making it work. And is there any other questions that?
Let's see here.
that are good?
I think
So there's like
they're all good. We all appreciate some in detail.
I'm
some of these
totally
comments.
kidding, guys. I really am.
We appreciate all your prayers and stuff coming into the live session with Lydia so she could tell the story. I think that's the best way to do it. Because sometimes all those little details, there's just so many details, it's hard to just post in a little post each day.
Exactly.
So,
and I thought about writing, guys, but really I'm just, like when I say I'm not to that point, I only have so much time of energy, and then it's gone. And then I get tired and I'm still trying to recover. And there's just so many things I have to like do when I'm awake that involve me, making the milk well, I'm not making milk yet, obviously, my babies are too small for that. I'm still pumping colostrum. But it's kind of hard for me to get on the computer and do things. So this live session has been the best. Sorry, go ahead.
Three more real quick, okay? So some hospitals rent those out. That's correct.
Yes.
But since she is going to be eventually being more at the hospital throughout the day, she can use the pump that's in the ICU,
Exactly.
which is going to good and save money. Yes, we have rented a pump for Lydia this month, and it's a little
we're having
on the strong side for her right now.
Yeah, we're having a little difficulty figuring out how to use it. We're gonna go see the midwife and troubleshoot figuring out what I'm doing wrong to make the machine not do what it needs to do. Mm-hmm. And hopefully sometime next week we'll drive me out there. I'll get a little better, at least enough just to go see her.
Yeah. Does she have enough bags to store milk? We have some. The midwife has given us some bags for storing milk.
Yes. The thing is, though, like, if somebody wants to donate even just Ziploc freezer bags or freezer-type containers, that would be good, because right now I'm not, like, again, producing milk. I'm producing little containers of colostrum, because these are teeny tiny preemies, and my body is producing the milk that their body can handle at their age. But eventually, yeah, I'm gonna need some. We have plenty of like little milk bags, but anything to store, because twice the babies, man. Another question?
After milk comes in, it won't. That makes sense. After the milk comes in, it won't be as strong for you. Denise said. You may need a different size. Maybe I can help with that. Yeah, definitely. So. Anybody else have any questions referring to Lydia or the girls or situation? I think we're about to wrap it up. Make sure Lydia.
Should I tell a fun story?
Yeah, you can tell. Story. Fun, real quick story, because you have some duties to do.
Okay. There's like you're gonna have pain meds and sleep and pump. And there's my nurse here keeping me on track when I want to do all the things. So I'm sorry, guys, to kill you for some, but if you want to turn it off at this point, you can. I was just gonna give a fun little story. So when I was at the hospital, and I did get to visit them Sunday, they let me do the oral care. The oral care is basically where you take a little cotton swab and you dip it in fresh colostrum, and you rub it around in their little mouths just a little bit. It keeps their lip from cracking. It helps keep their mouths moist and heal. It's super good for them. So then we're fixing to leave, and the nurse is like, I was like, so are you gonna do the colostrum? I want to watch. And she's like, do you want to do it? We'll let you do that. And I was super excited, but kind of freaked out at the same time. I'm like, if I poke this baby in the mouth, is it gonna explode? Because they're so tiny and so delicate. When their skin hits something, it breaks super easy at this point. So I go up there, and we let David feed Chloe. She thought it was okay. She was asleep, and she was like, and just like lets David like go in and coat her mouth, and they were done. And then I get to do Isabelle, and so Isabelle's asleep, and I have the little Q-tip, and I start to go, and she's like, okay, so just go in and like touch the side of her cheek and like rub it, and then go to where her two front teeth would be, and then the other cheek. I'm like, okay. And so I start putting the Q-tip in towards her mouth. As soon as it touches her tongue, that baby like chomps down, and I'm like, I look over at the nurse and I'm like, if I pull back, is it gonna hurt her? And she's like, what? I'm like, if I pull back, this baby's chomping down on this thing. Is it gonna hurt the baby? She's like, yeah, be very careful about that. Just let her suck it out. So the baby chomped down, starts sucking on it and squeezing it and like licking it, and she just enjoys the taste of it, I guess, so much. And so I do it again. She does that same thing. She's like, just when she yawns, just take the chance and like coat. And then as soon as she just like, oh yeah, her eyeballs open up real big under. You can see underneath her little goggles, and there's like away and huge. She's just like licking it up and looking at me, and I'm just like, is this normal for little babies this age? And the nurse looks at me and is like, so somebody is gonna. I didn't know little babies that size had such strong suction. It makes me afraid for my nips, guys. I'm just saying. I'm so scared. It's gonna. I think it'll be okay.
Sorry if that's much information for you guys.
Guys, it's totally natural. Anyways, but she's doing good, and they're impressing or at least Isabelle's impressing everyone right now with just how well she's doing. So just pray that she continues to go and do well, and Chloe catches up. But we thought that was super hilarious, and it was wonderful to watch.
Alright, so I'm going to take care of this girl, and we just again appreciate you for tuning in to hear the birth story of Isabelle and Chloe. Continue to put them in your prayers, and also David and Lydia for rest and recovery.
Rest is...
David is working day and night, and he's doing a great job being a good daddy to the girls and a good husband to Lydia, and the same for Lydia to the girls. And so just pray, prayers continued for the Huber family and the Huber twins.
Right. I'm so sorry that this went way. We were like, we're going to do it like 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Okay. So we'll let you guys go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Love
Appreciate
you.
it. Hopefully I'll finish this. There you go. I think. Nope. It's still there.
Oh, we're still going.
Yeah, it's that normal thing, you know what I mean?
Going back.
Let's do it.